All right. Welcome once again to the At the Round Table podcast show. Oh my goodness, look at all this melanin up in here. I'm loving it. What's going on, good people? How y'all doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
There you go. Fantastic. Now the people are looking at us like this is the Black Hollywood Square, so we got to have some energy up in here. So I'm gonna go right over here, and I'm gonna point to the glowing sister in the middle. Her name is Melissa Bartlett, aka Pitbull. What's going on, sis?
What's going on? What's up, my brothers? I am so excited tonight, family. We have. First of all, we're coming down and doing something brand new, something we've never done before. So grateful for the opportunity of the platform that we have more than one guest at one time. And I'm super excited. As I always tell you, I need Wednesdays to get me through the rest of the week. I need my podcast and my family and the chance to do this with my brothers. It is also such a privilege. So I'm doing swell. I'm excited. I can't wait to dig into these guests and talk about their business and their entrepreneurial experiences and their paths and get some knowledge about my own business so I can grow with them.
All right. Y'all heard it first right here, boy. So without further ado, we got to introduce the man, the myth, the legend.
A Money.
A Money. Why do we call him A Money though?
We call him A Money because Adrian Bettle is the fact checker. He brings all of the knowledge and he will dig into it. And when he give it to you, you can bank on it.
Yes,
so
indeed.
We call him A Money.
Dang, I promise you the check is in the mail.
All right now. That's all right.
Yes,
it's all right.
Yes. I'm to this evening as well and getting to know these individuals that I know everybody's waiting out there to hear from. But before we delve a little further into that, the man in my upper left-hand corner, Mr. Birthday Boy, the man, the myth, legend, Mr.
Birthday. All right. Happy born day, good brother.
What's going on? Thank you. I'm telling you, the love is in the air. I'm telling you, I have not been so blessed in my life to have people recognize, the fact of not just your born day, but when you stand for something. And I appreciate each and every one of you attending tonight because of what you bring to the table. It is God-given, and it is something that is amazing, and the people need to hear it. And I'm glad we're the platform to bring it to the people. So thank y'all. And they didn't mention I stirred the cup, so but we're not going to do that.
I'm sorry.
We're not going to do that tonight.
I've been celebrating you.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about how you like to stir up stuff.
That's I have my moments. But we get to have some fun tonight, though, and I think it's very important considering everything that's going on with COVID and us coming into 2021. This is a show that is greatly needed because we get to talk to some Black business owners. And everyone has a story, and it is imperative that we hear that story, and people out there who don't know about business get to actually learn from y'all tonight. So if you don't mind, if you would like to introduce yourself, we're going to go ahead and start off with how we do this. Since it's the first time, how should we do this, y'all? Do we just everybody throw in real quick, or anybody want to raise their hand like we in class? What do y'all think? I knew you were going to do that.
Mr. Clay.
Oh, man. Go right ahead.
My name is Zeke Clay. I mean, that's not my government name, but that's my nickname. On my page, you're not going to see Zeke Clay. You're going to see Dots Home Reno, which is the name of my business. I use my Facebook page pretty much just to promote my business and mostly Black-owned businesses. I do home renovations, and that goes from decks to flooring, bathroom, light, plumbing, etc. We do a mentoring program. The business was named. Do I go into that or just introduce myself?
Just introduce yourself.
Okay, all right.
He's trying to give it away, y'all.
I'm gonna epitomize that word loquacious. I'm gonna run that.
Oh,
Run that.
Hey, money, another big word.
Yeah,
You know how we all got big words.
Yes, write that down. Miss
I'll
Grace.
go next. My name is Shakita Davis. I'm from South Carolina. The name of my business is Grace to Greatness LLC. It's a spiritual and inspirational business, and it's a blessing for me to be here and just interact with all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I am Mahogany Taviti. I am the owner of Drip and Bling. Paparazzi accessories. I sell $5 bling. So I am the lady for your accessory needs.
Right.
All right, family. And we have one more guest that's about to attend and join us. Here we are. Hello, my queen. What's going on?
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey,
I'm good. I'm blessed and highly favored, and I'm just excited about being on this wonderful platform. My name is Dr. Shauna Whitehead Starks, and I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I have 7 successful businesses. I'm in one of my locations now. I have a couple locations here, one here and one in Racine, and I will be coming to North Carolina. I will be in the mixed 50 states, so I'm excited about what God is doing. Yes.
All right, man.
Ooh. Welcome there, all of y'all.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. All right, so family, on our show, we believe in being very comfortable. So do not think you're going to be grilled. We want you to enjoy. We want you to communicate, and we want you to tell us each about your business. We've got several things that are going on right now due to COVID, and many people are struggling right now. So we hope that your wisdom, your guidance will be able to be shared with them, and somebody go ahead and give birth to their dream. So first question that has already came out the gate. Hagi, I know you got it. I ain't even gonna say it. Go ahead and do it. Drop the question.
So the question is, how did you come up with your brand? How did you come up with your name of your company? And share that story with our family.
Hagi.
Mr. Clay, you were already there, so let's go ahead and let you finish.
I'm messing with you, Hagi.
Like I said, I own a home renovation business, and the reason what brought me into it is the need of our people. But more personally, it was watching my mother suffer. My mother died from complications of diabetes and HIV, but it really wasn't those physical illnesses that really killed her. It was lack of resources, working herself to death, and horrible housing. And as I grew up watching that stuff, I vowed to do something about it. And so I will throw this in there. One of the reasons why I left Charlotte, I ended up catching a federal case and did 18 years. And upon release, I just took what I learned in there. I started scrapping. I went from scrapping to painting. And then I thought about the housing problem that we were having with our people. And so I just worked on the brand because I was mentoring, and I came up with Dots Home Reno. So I went from Dots Home Reno to breaking it down to an acronym, which means directing others to success. So now I go into the low income areas, as well as we do all genres, all households. But I go into the ghettos and everything to help our people renovate their homes to a point, whereas if they need ceramic tile, whatever in their home, I help them do it on a budget, whereas they can have nice housing. They don't have to worry about slum dwelling, etc. Plus, I use this as a platform to teach a trade to young and older men and to mentor them on the weekends.
Wow. That's
I'm making
powerful.
myself stop talking.
Wow.
But that's it in a nutshell, though. And I actually did Mr. Adrian's house.
Okay.
With his driveway and stuff.
He did. excellent job, I might.
Yeah, you know, Adrian picky, so that's saying a lot.
I almost screwed it up.
Nah,
That's it in a
fine.
nutshell.
He was fine.
That's what we do. I mean,
Great.
yeah.
Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that. I think Mahogany, care to share?
Okay, so I just I tried to come up with something that was catchy and something that reflects things that I like. So Drip Bling is just a play on, you know, us walking into the room with our accessories dripping, you know, a lot of the rhinestones, and I love those things. So that was one of the things that just made me pick the name Drip and Bling. I thought it was catchy. I thought it went well with the accessories part of it. So short and sweet. That's how I came up with the name.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Miss Great to Greatness, LLC.
All right.
So the vision for my business actually came to me in 2018 when I felt like the Lord was telling me to do more for people. I always had interacted with the community just as far as teaching Bible school, vacation Bible school. I went to school for psychology. So people, I love people and all their mess and madness, all that good stuff. And even though he was telling me do something more, I treated it casually. And I didn't act right away because I felt like I was already so involved in so many things. And then in 2020, when the pandemic hit and I had some a long time with myself and God just being isolated, he was like, your time is up. Stop playing around. And so I moved forward with the business and launched in September. And the name Grace to Greatness just stood out to me when I was brainstorming, because I want my business to represent what it's like to just have unmerited favor of your life, which is what grace is. And my business, we just believe that as you embrace God's grace and you operate in your purpose, then that's when your life is really filled with greatness. So it just has so many meanings to me. And I hope that when people encounter my business, that they just have a transformative experience through that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Dr.
Shawana Whitehead, start.
Yes.
It is Dr. Shauna Whitehead. Basically, the first bit, Destined to Succeed Institute came when I was about 5 years ago. It came when I was working on my my master's, and I was sitting in class, and I had told my professor, I said, you know what God has shown me? That's my husband behind me, yeah. But the Lord has shown me that I was going to be making money while I'm sleeping, like all over the world, being able to educate people and train them. And so I was like, huh? And so, you know, when God give you a word, you be like, what? So I was so excited. I just bust out in class. The Lord had said, Destined to Succeed Institute. And I was like, wow. And so I bust out in class and I was like, Professor. And, you know, he didn't like it, but I did do that. And so that's how my name came about, Destined to Succeed Institute, because you are destined to succeed when you come here. Everything that you touch, you're going to succeed in it if you give it to God and let him take you to a whole nother level. He will. So that's how it came about.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, the people are chiming in right now. They're saying greetings to everybody and such. So, family, if you're chiming in,
hey, everybody,
we appreciate it. Definitely ask these gurus the questions, because again, they're here to share with us what's going on, not only in their neck of the woods, but how you can better yours. You know, we're going to network and we're going to share on this platform this evening. So, who has a question for these amazing individuals this evening? And you can ask questions amongst yourselves as well. Don't be shy. This is the Black Hollywood Squares now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So primarily, everyone here is, other than the doctor, everyone here is in North Carolina?
I'm in South Carolina.
It's okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, I'll be moving to North Carolina. Hear me and hear me well, y'all. I won't be like, hey, Charlie, I put the office down there. Yes, I love North Carolina. I just love it. Y'all are so, the hospitality there is just amazing. Like, woo.
But yes, Dr. Stein, we don't get as much snow as you do in the wintertime either.
Listen,
okay?
we just had a snowstorm yesterday. You know what I love about the South and what I love about North Carolina? First of all, it's a city of purpose, a state of purpose. And I love how the African American people have came together and they just embrace one another. I was down there doing a business seminar because I do that. I travel the country to teach people entrepreneurship and entertaining growth. And when I was down there last year, I'm telling you, the atmosphere was so nice. Being able to see other entrepreneurs, and they like, hey, how you doing, my sister? How you doing, my brother? It was just so amazing. And I told everybody up here, I was like, because, you know, I'm in the Midwest, a lot of times you don't see all that love and kindness. And I was just like, I have got to get to back to North Carolina and even South Carolina. I went down there for vacation. I was just like, wow, it's amazing down there. So my hats off to all you entrepreneurs, because you not only are making money, but and being a blessing, but the way you carry yourself and your attitude towards people from a different city is just beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right.
Hey, Money, you said you had a question.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Melissa. My question is for the people that's out there viewing you right now, and this is kind of a broad question, what advice would you give them to starting a business? Maybe one or two things that you would actually like to share with people out there who are curious or maybe interested in starting their own business.
I would say this. I once read a book by Les Brown, and Les Brown said, so you have to have a child's mentality when you start your business. You can't sit back and say, well, I don't have the associate's degree, I don't have the truck and trailer, I don't have the finance, I don't have the business plan. You can't always sit back and wait on the official, formal plans, equipment, resources, etc. You know, he said, we'll go into the kitchen and we'll see the child up on the cabinet, on the refrigerator. And we'd be like, well, how did you get up there? And he said, children can accomplish these things. And we sit back on all of our gifts, saying, I don't have this, I don't have that. I started Dots Home Reno and couldn't even read a tape measure.
Wow.
I couldn't even read a tape measure. And people told me, you crazy, man. You're going to quit your job and you're going to do all of this. And you can't even read a tape measure. You're going to go into home renovations. But I knew what I wanted to do. I knew. And because, see, my business spanned not just from home renovation, but the creator told me the same way that you are going to renovate homes and beautify and change homes, you're going to do that to people. Because some people just need a paint job. Some people need gutters added to themselves. The same way you're going to do to them houses, you're going to do it to people, and I'm going to provide those opportunities as you go into those homes. So to make it short, my advice to anyone that even thinks about starting a business, go.
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 And can I elaborate on that, Mr. Clay? You are absolutely correct. Let me just say this. When God gives you a vision, he always gives you the provision. So faith and fear doesn't match. Okay. So if God gave it to you, it's okay to step out on faith if you know he gave it to you. And when he gives it to you and you obey and do his instruction, he's going to make it to fruition. So even if you delayed in some things, a delay is not denied. So don't don't say well, I can't accomplish, because the thing is we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. If you write your vision down plain, write it down, make it plain, and continue to move forward and execute that vision, you're going to see where God take you. And then when you do get that business open, don't forget where the blesser bless you with. Chase after the altar, not the blessing. And then you continue to pay your tithes and watch God brings food into your storehouse. He'll begin to open up doors that you wouldn't even understand where they're coming from. People begin to show favor on your life and on your business. You be like, Lord, how did I do this? How was I able to do this? Because you're keeping your mind focused on what God has told you to do. Even in those rough periods, if you faint not, and you continue to move forward, he will bless you like never before. And then also it's a mindset. If you see yourself as a millionaire and you know God said that you're going to be a blessing to people in your community, and you see yourself, you're going to begin to carry yourself and operate like that. That means you can't have stinking thinking folks in your business, or you cannot have those dream killers, if that makes sense. So, I hope I'm helping somebody, because I see myself in 50 states. So I operate like that. Even if I don't always have the funds or always have the resource, I know God is my provider. I know he gave me this business. I know he said, where much is given, much is required. As long as I walk circumspectly and do what he told me to do, he can't do nothing but bless, because we serve an amazing God. I'm sorry. Be quiet.
That's kind of what I was gonna say. I was gonna say just believe in yourself and in the passion that you have in your business, and don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. If it's something that you want to do and you put your mind to it, then you have to believe in yourself that you can do it. Also, when you're first starting out, just have in mind that you're not going to make the money that you want to make off the bat, because there is money that you have to put into your business. The money that you may make from whatever you're doing at the time, you have to reinvest that money over and over. So it takes a while for you to start seeing profit from your new business. So remember that too.
If I could chime in on after you start, the next thing for me to be, once you do start, to not get distracted with those who don't see your vision. If God gave you that vision, if that's a desire of your own heart, it doesn't matter who tries to come against you, you'll prevail over the naysayers. I think too often it's like, I know God is telling me this, I know God is telling me that, and you're trying to explain it to others to get them on board or seek resources for them, and hoping that they're going to be what's going to sustain you to that success that you desire, but they're not the source. So if you stay plugged into the source, who is God, who again has given you that vision, only then will you actually succeed in that purpose that he has for your life.
And I'm going to chime in as well. I went to a seminar, and there was a woman that was hosting the seminar, and she said, how many people are here to be entrepreneurs, want to start your business? And everybody kind of looked around and they raised their hand. And she said, how many of you guys know what to do to start a business? And everybody kind of was like, that's kind of why we're here. And she said, how many of you guys think about what it is that you want to do? It's a burning desire. It wakes you up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. How many of you guys do what you do and you make time to do it, versus it kind of falls into your lap, but you make money from it? And so people were looking a little strange, and they were like, she said, for the people who kind of do what they do when they feel like it, and, it may be a product or a service, so they make money from it. She said, I can't, ask you to leave because you paid your money, but you're probably in the wrong seminar. She said, because you have a hobby. You don't have a business. And that stuck to me. It stuck with me like, wow, because when you have a business and you have that passion, Mr. Clay quit his job. This is a man who came from humble beginnings, had a sure thing that people would say, oh, this is a sure thing. Why would you quit your job to step out on faith and start his business? The greatness. You're saying you just launched in September. You know, look at you now. You're on a platform that has thousands of viewers. You know, Dr. Starks is ready to be in 50 states. She come to North Carolina. You know, Mahogany. When I think of as many paparazzi people that are out here doing it, there's only about 3 people that I really think about when I think of paparazzi, and she's one of them. You got to make your mark in this world, and your passion is your fire to blaze that path. And if you don't have it, what you have is a hobby. So be honest about whether you got a business and a passion, or if you really got a hobby that you like to do that you can make money every once in a while, because hobbies do not turn into businesses.
Nice.
Shouts out to the people that are chiming in right now to the round table. We got Charlie Twos just chimed in. Hey Charlie, what's going on? Miss Party with Charlie. She
Party with Charlie.
Yeah, she's the senior consultant with Pure Romance. We appreciate you. They're coming in with a lot of verbiage. So guys, my apologies if I don't post it up because we don't want to block everybody. But Charlie Twos, definitely check her out. I'm gonna put her website up for everyone to check out as well. Party consultant with Pure Romance. She notes that basically entertaining people, that sexual health is not a dirty word, and she's got her link up. So I'm gonna share that very quickly. Letitia Lewis, thank you for joining us on At the Round Table podcast show. Her business is Tough Tari, home of handmade arts and crafts. She's got African merchandise, clothing, jewelry, whip shea butters, oils, sea moss, and Palo Santo sage, etc. And of course, we've got a question as well. So y'all, I want to post this question real quick. I want somebody to get ready to chime in on it. In which she says, Terry Digsby, what is the biggest obstacle you have had to overcome the terms of making your business profitable and fruitful? Who would like to jump in on that? That's a good question right there for business.
Very good question.
I'll tell you one of the biggest obstacles, and I want to speak on something, and this is not to be a devil's advocate or anything, but this is something you have to watch out for on the flip side that people don't speak about much when you start your own business. But the biggest obstacle for me was a burst of finance. I made so much money the first year in ignorance, total, complete ignorance, over $100,000.
I wish that was an obstacle.
And I did not know what to do. So that obstacle was learning professionalism. I had the management skills. I had the people skills. But the people around me, they saw the resources coming in. I was making so much money. I just didn't know what to do. And I had to learn to discipline myself. I had to learn to put this money in the proper places. And I had to learn how to pay people. I had to learn, and I think it was Letitia Lewis who said this. She said, start your business, perfect it later. That was one of my biggest challenges, perfecting my business on a formal level and getting people to see Dots Home Reno is not a shade tree business. This is a formal business. You cannot come here and sag. You cannot smoke in these people's houses. You cannot drink on these projects. There are penalties, etc. But learning to handle that money, learning to where to put that money as far as resources, getting your payroll together. You can start the business all you want, but there is actually an obstacle of a burst of finances. You don't always struggle financially when you start a business. And I could not find the help. People, when I got out there, it was people that were either so envious, angry, or whatever it was when I started this business that they literally, it was almost like they said, I wish I would help you to succeed.
Exactly.
Say that
again.
Yes.
Well, you get a chord on that one right there. Okay.
Sometimes they won't use you because it's you.
Oh,
but you got to learn to handle that money.
He said it right.
Yes. Yes,
you got
indeed.
to handle that money. perfect your business, put that professionalism in it, the formality. You must yourself be a professional. You gotta have thick skin. And you know, there's an old saying, what he ordains, he maintains.
Right.
So I have no fear. Look at him. None. I don't have fear.
That's
So
right.
Somebody give me a church fan. Give me a church fan.
About to take this plate around and make sure
Y'all better get that. Y'all better get that church fan, honey.
bless others. Yeah, that's all right. Wow.
those are my biggest obstacles, though. Those are mine.
Can I say something? You know what? Y'all gonna have me doing hula hoops around here, because you know you talking right. I know when I started, for me to start, because I had daycare centers before. I don't have every business you can name written there, but I've had daycare centers before, so that's a whole different entity of what I'm doing now. To come from being a daycare owner, a beauty shop owner, and things of that nature, to do an institute, and you know, a lot of people, I don't know about how it is in North Carolina, but up here they get a lot of grant money, a lot of government money. You know, so I'm starting a whole institute by myself, not knowing, you know, that I never was in corporate America, you know, so I'm learning, and everything that I've learned, God has strategically, or whatever how you said, showed me how to do it for real. And so having that spirit of, you know, like, Lord, I trust you, whatever. People didn't want to show me. See, this is the thing. They didn't want to show me on certain things, like, how do I do this or how you do this? They did not want to show me. And so I had this one company, shout out to them. I'm sharing all this on my pages. Dr. Debbie Lassiter from Convergence Resource Center. Woo, woo, shout out to her. She took me under her wing. Real talk. She took me under her wing, and she was like, before I became a doctor, she said, you know what? I'm going to introduce you to some people that's going to really help you. And so I was like, okay. And in doing that, you look up a year later, you know, not only did I develop, you know, opening up businesses for people all over the United States. The first year, 53 businesses from start to finish, and then putting on the certification trainings. And then from that, I'm about to give y'all a plug. Then from that, I opened up an online school, K4, K5 through 12th grade, plus adult high school diploma program. I'm gonna keep going, and I have a reentry program. Yeah, for people that's getting out of prison, and I have an employment agency. All people that did, and a transportation company. People didn't want to help me, and so now they see me here, and they go, "How are you doing this? Are you getting government money?" And I'm like, no. I just took the things that God said, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. And I took the wealth of the wicked, I'm just, and he gave the money to come to me, because I stopped looking at chasing that money, and the money began to chase me. So I say this to any entrepreneur, when their people want to have their hands like mutes and don't want to help you, keep trusting God, because God got a table set for some folks. Do you hear me? Some people are eating steak right now, because when I open my other location in Racine, people are saying right now, how did you do this? And I'm debt free. And I'm not saying that to boast and brag, but I took the kingdom principles in order to run my business, because the Bible does not say you get in debt and take all these loans out to open your business. He do not say that. Now, he said, pay your bills, owe no man nothing but love. He will draw the money to you. So when I teach people, when I travel the country and teach our people of color, I really teach them how to make the money and let the money come to them because when God adds wealth, he adds no sorrow to it. And I say that to say this. Keep moving forward, whoever looking. When people don't want to help you, God will send rams in the bush to help you. And then look at you and go, how you doing this? You didn't want to help me, but I'm not going to treat you the way you treated me. I'm still going to show love and kindness, because the Bible says, love and kindness have I drawn thee. Amen. I'm sorry. I just
You're underdressed.
I need to have on my church dress and hat.
I know, right?
I've been taking up over there. I'm about to go put the glove on.
And I know y'all been through some of that. I know y'all been through it, right? Haven't y'all been through some of that? People didn't want to help you, didn't want to tell you nothing.
All the time.
But
You
Dr.
know,
Oh,
somebody
Johnson
said this.
said that though. It's about your surrounding, who you got around you, who you have
Yeah.
around.
yes,
You
indeed.
know, can't take everybody with you. And believe me, everybody that smile at you is not for you. They're not happy for you. And so they won't support you. They won't invest in you. So you
Yeah.
have to have that strong background and that strong backbone to support and invest in yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we got some more, looks like some more comments come in. So Letitia Lewis just noticed, she said, I had to learn not to worry about those who aren't coming in and supporting and be grateful to those that are coming in. That's a good
Absolutely.
word right there.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
Charlie just mentioned this thing that has been a situation for her, discounting to get them in the door, realizing everyone is not my client. Know your worth and command nothing less.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Good
And
word.
that's what I was gonna say.
Absolutely.
One of the obstacles I have as far as being a small business owner is a lot of people don't look at you as if you have a real business. You know, so a lot of times, like, you have people, you know, we go out here every day, we go to stores, we know we got to pay tax, we know if we order something online, we got to pay shipping. You know, but a lot of times with me, I find that people, oh, you tax, what? Yeah, I tax. And then they order something for you and don't realize they got to pay shipping because you live. I mean, I'm gonna send it to you for free. So, I mean, I run into that a lot of times. People don't want me to tax, and they don't like shipping.
So you tell them, look, oh, so you're tax exempt. If you can tell me, give me your tax exemption certificate, I'll be glad not to charge you tax. That's how you kill that.
Yep.
I have people like, oh, well, you have a reef. How you taxing me? Because that's what it costs, and that absorb. I gotta pay tax. I pay tax on everything I use to make that reef. So therefore, you gotta have tax. I pay tax on everything I make. I have to charge you tax, and I try to absorb the shipping in the price. Doesn't mean that I inflate it tremendously, but I try to at least absorb that much because of it being the type of box it is. It is very expensive to ship, but I ask them straight up. Oh, you don't want me to charge you tax? Absolutely. Just give me a copy of your tax exemption form certificate, and then they'll probably be like, "Oh, I don't have one." Well, then you're not excluded from tax.
Right.
So my obstacles have been way different. So even though COVID-19 helped me propel my business forward and launch it in September, the thing about my business being such so hands-on that I deal with people is that as long as I was giving those services for free, everything was good. So my grandmother had a daycare. So I've always dealt with kids. And then my family is grounded in the word. So I've always, like I said, been in church and helped with programs, junior superintendent over the youth. So then, like I said, that goes to Vacation Bible School, just anything I could do. I work with the city, Parks and Recreation. And so people know how I nurture their children and, you know, take them on my wing and all that stuff. And as long as I was doing it from the kindness, the goodness, the depths of my heart, everything was all good. But when the Lord was like, okay, but if I wanted dealing with people and inspiring people to be my full-time business, I have to treat it as such even before it is that. And so when I went and did the LLC and made the website and got the business card, and I'm like, oh, I would love to mentor your child, but now it's a fee. So then it was like, oh, okay. So it just makes a difference. To me, just that transition, like people can know the quality of what you're bringing to the table, but then hesitate once they're not, again, like I said, getting those services for free. So that's one of my obstacles. And the second one just being with COVID-19, the fact that I used to do activities with the children or take them places and stuff, just a different restriction. So now not meeting them face to face, trying to do Zoom calls. not being able to do hands-on activities. So trying to talk to the parents as far as what items they may have in the house, so we can do little projects on hand within that hour. Because my focus group is 8 to 13. So that has been an adjustment for me, because even though I'm millennial, some of the internet technology savvy stuff I just stray away from a little. So I've been having to reteach myself in a lot of different ways.
Very good. That's what's up.
That's great.
That's interesting, because that leads to a very good question in regards to business. And Hagi, you kind of alluded on it, and then actually Charlie did as well, and you did just recently, in regards to business owners preparing to do business. Because some people, they just get out there and they think, hey, I'm gonna start a business, and they don't do their due diligence in regards to homework, getting the correct documentation with the state they're in, without complying with, you know, not only state and federal, but also municipality laws for operating, as well as that customer service.
Hallelujah.
Let's not talk about customer service.
Let's talk. I didn't even want to talk about business.
I'm sorry, I got to say this. You know what? Listen here. I say this all the time. You're absolutely right. People get in business when they see that, oh, well, this Betty May is doing this. Let me jump on and do it. If you don't do what you're passionate about, it is never going to work. You cannot look at what somebody else is doing and say, let me jump on the boat, because what God has for them is for them. And you should do what you're passionate about, because in those seasons, every business has seasons. In those seasons, when you when your business go up and down and you're not making the money that you thought you were going to make, are you still going to be willing to do what you commanded to do? Are you still going to do it? Because it's not always roses being an entrepreneur. And then another thing, my company, my daughter and I, we have developed a customer service, culture diversity, and corporate etiquette training. I've developed that, and I teach this all over the world. Anybody can take my classes, because I'm sick of bad customer service. My thing is, as I have a master's in HR, my thing is, as business owners, and I know we can all testify, when God began to bless a lot of our business, especially, no disrespect to no one what I'm saying, but a lot of sometimes people of color, when we start getting a lot of money, we don't go back and invest in our employees. It's very important that we invest in our employees, because without that employee being educated and having the like-mindedness of your company and the vision and mission statement of your company, it's going to make your customers walk out the door. All this bad attitude that they give to your customers, it's not right. So we, as an owner, as a leader, a real leader, trains and develops their employees, and we have to start doing that, because employees want to feel like they matter. And it's okay if you have an employee that doesn't show that good customer service skill. It's okay to say, well, you know what, sweetheart, or sir, well, maybe this job might not be for you, and God will send you some right people that's going to carry out the mission and vision statement of your company. But when you don't do things like that, your company really do suffer, because you could be up here, but because you haven't dealt with that bad customer service or train your people in diversity or train them in good customer service skills, you're lacking. So
true. Very true. But let me be the I'm sorry, y'all. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but
hey, money, get the start.
There you go.
It not only allows in regards to the employees, but also the employer.
Yes.
Because we as employers or business owners, if you own a business, we have to understand that this business is our baby. Okay, it's our lifeblood. We put it down, we pick it up every single day. So when we interact with a customer or a potential customer, we've got to be able to know that what we put forward out there is our calling card. I've run across so many individuals in business, and the first thing I ask them is, do you have a business card? They don't have one. They're not even prepared then. But then you give them the benefit of the doubt, and you're trying to facilitate business with them or suggest them to someone. And if that customer service is not paramount with the owner, it's not going to trickle down to the employee. So what do we do as us business owners? What can we do in order to prepare to give great customer service to those potential people that are out there that are looking for our service, asking for our service on Facebook. Just who can I go to get such and such and such and such, and they're a referral away. What can we do to prepare for that? Anyway,
let me say this. I want to say 2 aspects about customer service. Adrian, if you don't mind, I'd like to tell them something about what happened to you and I, if you don't mind.
Now I'm gonna have to do this with you, but go ahead. Go ahead and share.
The first thing I want to say about customer service is, number one, you have to be very observative of the needs of potential customers, because that in itself can get you business. Like, take for instance, when I went to Adrian's house and we were talking to him about obtaining a contract with him, and we gave him the estimate, and as his wife, him and his wife sat there as he sat there looking at it, I left. But before I left, I looked around his yard and his house, and I said, I tell you what, if you take my estimate, I'll throw in a new mailbox for free. He called me back. He said, my wife was skeptical at first. He said, you know what sold her? I said, what? He said, the mailbox.
It would have sold me too.
Let me say something else. Let me say something else. Here's another thing about customer service. And this is something that life had to really, really purge me on and get me ready for as a business owner. One of the biggest challenges I have as a business owner is this. There's a saying that McDonald's can get your order wrong 1,000,000 times, and you will continue to go to McDonald's and not have one problem. A Black business owner can do something one time.
Come on now.
And you're done with them for life. So here's the thing about customer service. You have to have thick skin. I have had people in houses sign contracts with me, and I have now in my contracts a clause that is the unforeseen clause, because people don't have character anymore. I go into a house to fix a floor, and they know that the floor, that the bands around the house are rotted. That's not in the contract. But you told me you would fix this for X amount of dollars. So customer service says, regardless what that customer does, you will not see me get upset. Regardless what happens. And listen to me. I actually had a lady come to me one time and push me. Little old tiny lady like this. Push me. Listen, customer service is.
I might have lost my customers too.
Right.
Here's the thing though. But here's the thing though. Where do you see yourself? See, me, I see myself as a world leader. And see, to whom much is given, much more is required. Grace is nothing but strength under control. So me, with the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the wealth, the resources, the lives I look to affect, I am tested daily with how people touch me. And I constantly hear examples coming saying, hey, if you just be patient and you treat this customer, even though they may act, because somebody put up a thing, they say, I hate it when good customer service is wasted on the wrong customer. To me, there is no such thing as a wrong customer. There are foolish and ignorant people, sure. But every contract I've had and client I've had, my character and treatment of that person in the end made me thousands of dollars because of how I just maintained control and treated them even in their most ignorant stage. In the end, they referred me to other people. So you got to maintain control. You got to look at that person regardless how they act. It's almost like the customer's always right, but at the same time, you know they're not right. But you're looking at your business. If I lose control right now and I go off, what is going to happen to Doc's Home Reno? See, I'm not in a position, regardless how much money I have, how many vans and trucks I have. I always see myself as I'm not in a position to lose control. And I'm not religious, but I'm gonna throw one scripture out there now. I hope this wraps it up. The Creator told David this. He said, it ain't because of murder, adultery, you killed Uriah, you did all you did with Bathsheba. He said, ain't none of that I'm gonna punish you. He said, but because you made me look bad. And see, that's what we often do with Black business. Even if the customer is wrong, don't make your business, don't make other Black entrepreneurs, and don't make yourself look bad. You will win in the end. That is customer service.
I agree. You do have to maintain your professionalism, even with rude customers, belligerent customers. You do, you know, I kid and joke, you know, keep your hands to yourself, it's true. But
Push me.
You do have to maintain your professionalism. I know long story short, I went to you know, I'm big on customer service because I've been in customer service for almost 20 years, and so I know how you're supposed to treat people. Right. So I went to Zaxby's one day. You know, I love Zaxby's, but I went to the wrong one. So I ended up getting some fries. You know, so the fries was cold. Okay, you know how I am about my fries.
Can't be cold.
The fries is cold, so I just told the people that my fries is cold. Can I have some hot fries? Do you know the cook behind? I'm at the drive-thru. The cook is behind. In fact, he's arguing with me. Wow. I said, is that the cook arguing with me? I said, you arguing with the, you know, now I done got kind of ugly now because he's arguing with me. But make a long story short, he was arguing with me, so I called back the next day to complain to the manager. Manager didn't care nothing about nothing.
You gotta go to corporate. I go straight to corporate all the time, every time. I don't deal with local. Caliber, because this speaks to us as business owners, and if those that have employees, you are the head. And the caliber of manager and the caliber of owner is always going to dictate the employee. Now, I'm not saying that somebody won't be able to, you know, just surprise you and be like, wow. But majority of the time, when you carry yourself the same way, you are a motivator. You are an inspiration. And those employees say, I got to do the same thing. So when they acting like that, I know the manager ain't going to do nothing. I go straight to corporate. I get the store number. I get the manager's name. And that's what I do. Because at the end of the day, it's really not about fries. It ain't about the $3.89. It's about the simple fact that you took your privilege and your opportunity to ruin my day and ruin my experience. So when you are dealing with customers, you are giving them a service, you are providing them a product, you are doing, you know, something that they need to look at or something they can have. You have to remember that they are still coming to you and you are to provide them an experience, a good experience, a grateful experience, a happy experience. Absolutely. And someone put in our thing, they said, hey, it's about the customer. Have a bad customer, you have great customer service. Mr. Clay said there's still no excuse. You still got to have great customer service, even when you got a bad customer.
Ever.
Because they can take their money anywhere.
And then the thing,
a million people that do what I do.
Yes.
So I have to make sure I provide good customer service. Because if I don't, they can go right to the next person and get it over there. So,
and then look, and it's this.
They can't get it like me. I provide the thing.
But the thing too, we still have to remember, like you guys all said, we have to lead by examples as employers. And I know for my staff, you know, we are kings. You know, they have to wear a suit and tie. You know, we dress up. I want to be taken serious. And the thing is, like I tell my staff that if these customers don't come in the door, that means you don't have a job. So we have to be helpers one to another and show love and kindness everywhere we go. period. Even if they get belligerent, to a point that is uncontrollable, I'm going to ask you to leave in a nice way. Now, I don't believe in you putting your hands on nobody because you don't know what people done been through. And I mean, I'm saying, but I don't want Shaniqua to come out. That's all I'm saying. It's the way you do things now, but you know, you can call me every name in the book, and I'm gonna still show that love. But I just say, you know, when you get too belligerent, I'm just gonna ask you to leave because we have to be able to diffuse things without, you know, showing violence or, you know, just tearing each other down as people of color. Period.
That's true. That's true.
Amen to that.
So everyone, we got 5 minutes, and we have 4 guests. So we're gonna give you. I know, Dr. Starks. It's always like this. So we're gonna give each one of you guys a minute with closing remarks, and make sure you include your contact information, please.
Yes.
Mr. Clay, you've been starting us off good. Go ahead and start us off.
And this is closing remarks.
These are closing remarks. Yes, sir.
Of course, I want to promote Dots Home Reno, but my business is fine. If I had to promote anything, I want to promote us as a people. The 3 agendas I have is financial, health, and psychological knowledge, wellness. These are the areas that we fail in. I want people to go to Dots Home Reno on Facebook, and I want them to give us business, word of mouth, etc. But we need literacy in those 3 areas, and that is what we promote. We promote helping you beautify your home. It stands for directing others to success. That's the acronym. But at the same time, I would love to see the greatness and the growth of our people and our communities. Dots Home Reno, our launching statement is always giving out fishing poles. We're not going to feed you. We're going to teach you to feed yourself.
Wow. Amen. Wow. Okay. Let's go.
All right. Thank everybody for tuning in. My name is Shakita Davis. As she stated, my business is Grace to Greatness LLC. You can find us on Facebook at Grace to Greatness LLC. The website is www.gracetogreatness.com. There, we would love to interact with you. Feel free to read some of our testimonials as well as donate to our business. You can see different things we've done recently with the turkey giveaway, as well as adopting a child. We look forward to doing a lot more projects in the community this year. Hopefully we can do something with adopting a senior in May, something for the elderly over the summer, and something with back to school in August. So we would just love anything that you could do to help assist us as we try to bless the community. We believe that anytime that you interact with us at Grace to Greatness LLC, you'll have a transformative experience. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
It's no dripping bling.
All right. Thank y'all for having me again. I really enjoyed it. Again, I am Mahogany with Drip and Bling, Paparazzi Accessories. My website is dripandbling.com, dripping no G, bling.com. I sell $5 accessories, $25 accessories for those people that don't want to pay $5. You know, we have our jewelry is nickel and limit free. So my Facebook page is, you can find me under my name, Mahogany Tabiti, or you can swing over to my Drip and Bling VIP page. So I would be glad for you to come over and join that page as well. If anybody is interested in becoming a consultant, reach out to me and I would love to discuss that with you as well. So just let me know if you are in any needs of accessories. I am your girl. You will get the best customer service. No need to okay?
And there are men's accessories.
Yes, we have men accessories, women accessories, and little girl accessories as well.
And last but not least, Dr. Starks.
Okay. Thank you for having me on your platform. It's been a blessing. I'm the owner of Destined to Succeed Institute, and February 6th on Saturday, we're having a virtual conference, A Successful Way of Entrepreneurship and Obtaining Wealth. So you guys, for those who are listening, if you want to know how to open a business, grow your business, take your business to the next level, we're going to be giving you tools and tips on how to not only grow it, but obtain wealth. I have speakers from all over, from New York, from Atlanta, from Milwaukee, from Indiana, women millionaires who are doing it, and we're going to teach you how to be debt-free. If you want to register for our seminar, because I do this all over the world, I'm on an assignment. You can go to www.DESTINE2succeed.com. Also, we also do, we have stuff to train your staff. I open up businesses all around the world. So give me a call, Dr. Shauna Whitehead Starks. You can also find me on Facebook, Destined to Succeed Institute, or Dr. Shauna Whitehead Starks on Instagram. I have a book out too, A Successful Way of Entrepreneurship and Obtaining Wealth. I have a book for people of color, period, teaching you how to open up a business, making sure your legal side of things are done right, because I want to see you succeed, okay? So you are destined to succeed when you come to our anything that we have going on, and when you come to our website. We want to be a blessing unto you.
All right. That being said, hey, Money, got anything to say? Closing? You've been in it, man. You've been like just studying it. Hey, Money, can you hear me?
Man, it's been a blessing to have all four of y'all on. Yes, I just saying it's been a blessing to have all four of y'all on here, and I'd like to wish you continued success and keep up being role models for everybody to look up to.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Pitbull.
I am truly honored, blessed. I have taken notes. I'm going to go back and watch this again so I can write them down, because I have a business and I have stutter start. And I know my issue is fear of success, because when I'm diligent and I give my product out, I am getting orders. I am getting orders, and then I'm like, oh my God, and I fulfill it, and then that's it. So thank you guys for your inspiration. Thank you guys for your knowledge, your transparency. Thank you for coming to the show, and I really want to keep in contact with you guys, and we got to do something again. Maybe try to get some type of a workshop or something together.
That'll be great.
Yes.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yes.
Mr. Digsby.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone joining us on At the Round Table podcast show tonight. This has been very informative. We definitely want to make sure that we're giving good information, positive information to the masses. And with that being said, I want to throw this little shameless plug out. Culturemedia.com. You can see it over here on the side right here. We have a directory, which is called the Culture Directory. We're going to promote Black businesses that are there. And I'm going to make sure that each one of your businesses is in that directory that we're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
So I will definitely be coordinating with each one of you in order to get pictures, your contact information, everything. We'll set the directory up. We'll blast it out to everybody, let everybody know. Family, hopefully you get a chance to share this show that is on Facebook right now. We're going to have it on our YouTube channel as well. Share the show. It's a lot of wealth of information that is here. It's been a blessing. Shouts out to Tangi for sharing.
Yes.
Dr. Shauna with us. She hit me the other day. She was like, Carrie, I got something for you. I said, who you got? She said, and I went and looked and I said, send the link right now. So thank you, Angie, for doing that. Thank you, Grace to Greatness. Thank you, Miss Drip and Bling. Thank you, Dots Home Improvement. Shouts out to Charlie Twos, Digsby's. Oh my goodness, there's just so many businesses that came on here. Latif, everybody, thank y'all for joining us tonight, because it is important that the one of the biggest problem that we've had is this: as Black businesses, we think we're an island unto ourselves, and we're not. So many of the businesses that are out here right now, and I gave this example, and I want y'all to listen to this very clear. When the DNC was here in Charlotte, North Carolina years ago, and many of the news outlets were downtown Charlotte, and they were trying to get set up in order to broadcast the DNC. All these networks, Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, plethora of them worked together in order to make sure all of their trucks were hooked up into the grid in order to make sure that they were all broadcasting, and they worked with each other. Fox was over here with NBC, CBS was over here, everything. One of the problems that we have as African Americans is we need to pool our resources in order to become a stronger bond. Because I did not see OWN down there. I did not see a BET down there, but I saw a lot of the other ones down there.
Yes.
And this here is doing it.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. You're right.
Well, I
You're
want
right.
to connect with all of y'all, so make sure I get all of y'all information so we can all connect with each other. And I'm so excited about meeting you all. I mean, when I say I'm coming to Charlotte home, y'all like, she said it too. I'm coming.
Well, I hope we're done with this pandemic, Dr. Stark, so we can get together and gather and break bread with each other.
Yes.
You're going to have to come on up from South Carolina. You're going to have to
I
come on
love
up
you
to
from South Carolina. I love
Carolina. But I just want to share this, and I know we over. I just got to share this real quick. My daughter, my youngest daughter, she does press-on nails. She makes them, and she does press-on nails. And she and 3 of her friends are putting a promotion box together to promote each one of their businesses. And the fact that at 18, 19, and then I think the other young lady 17 are on a phone call discussing this. I mean, I was overjoyed and I couldn't believe it. And so what Carrie was saying, you know, here it is, the young group, the millennials are knowing, hey, I need to get with you. Let's get together. Let's see what we can do to promote each other. So shameless plug, I'm going to promote her business, Manicure by Marie, or on Instagram at Manicure by Marie. She does custom press-on nails, and they're not the ones you go and see in Target and Walmart. These look like you went and sat in somebody's chair for like an hour. So definitely, I'm so inspired. And I told her to watch the show tonight because I said this is going to give you what you need to catapult you to that next level, because you're not on an island. So I am so excited about this. I can't wait to see what we do next.
All right, family. Y'all heard it first. Thank you once again for joining us on At the Roundtable Podcast Show.
All right.
And family, y'all stay tuned. Next week, we got another banging show coming up. Our guests, please stay tuned right here. Stay here. Don't go nowhere. And we will see y'all once again. Y'all be blessed.
Bye, family.
Good night.
Bye.